So quickly to go over the Monogreen deck, we've recently added 4 copies of Adventurous Impulse to maybe smooth out the deck a little bit, since we did have some kind of consistency problems where we sometimes drew too many 3-drops and no Llanowar Elves. So this is to try and address that issue. Then of course 4 Elves, the reason to play the deck. 2 Initiates, which helps us with ramping and adds a lot of power and toughness for Ghalta as well, once we remove the -1/-1 counters. 4 Branchwalkers, 1 Khenra, important to help us cast turn 3 Ghalta. We did it twice on stream already, where we cast turn 3 Ghalta, so I'll let you figure out how to do that one involving Resilient Khenra. It's not that difficult. Then 2 Jadelight Rangers, also helps us smooth out our draw, keep hitting land drops for up to 6, where we have Carnage Tyrant. And 2 Serpopards against the counterspell decks, 2 Rhonas as a nice kind of mana sink if we do flood out, or against the Stellar Wreckage decks. We have a lot of spare mana to use with Rhonas. 4 Steel Leaf, 2 Brontodons against artifacts enchantments, just a nice beatdown creature. 2 Ripjaw, 2 Allosaurus, and then 2 Carnage Tyrant, along with 3 Ghaltas. Mana base pretty straightforward, 2 Cycling Deserts for Hashep Oasis, and 18 Forests. Alright, this hand's not exciting, but keepable. Alright, Legion's Landing. Could be multiple decks. Alright, so what to pick? So Steel Leaf Champion is tempting, since it would be our most powerful 3-drop. But I think we go with Ghalta, since we already have a bunch of 3-drops that are pretty replaceable. And then Ghaltas can kind of be our big finisher once we deploy all our other creatures. So if we play Initiate here, next turn we can go Brontodon plus Elf. If we go Branchwalker, we can block the 1/1s. If we hit a non-land, I think we'll go with Initiate. Alright. Might have to kill that with Brontodon at some point, but not right away. Alright, even drew another one. Alright, don't really want to trade. Alright, we did draw the land, so now we can afford to play Brontodon plus play Ghalta. So if we pay green, then we can play Ghalta and then keep up Llanowar Elves, and then we can still activate Brontodon if we want to. And I'll attack with Serpopard, since I don't think our opponent's blocking. And even if they do, we could still destroy the Radiant Destiny. Mavern Fane is fine. I doubt I'll attack with all 3. So just that one, suiciding in, that's fine. So how about we attack with Ghalta, and attack with Serpopard. I could even attack with Brontodon after playing another one. I guess we'll play it a little bit safe. Just attack with these two. Alright, interesting block. Alright, might as well play out another elf. I think I want to keep up Brontodon just in case. Yep, binding for Ghalta, and then we can blow it up end of turn. And they should be dead with Hashep Oasis here. Yep, alright, sweet. Glad we took the Ghalta with the Impulse there on turn 1. This sounds acceptable. Really been liking the addition of Adventurous Impulse to the deck. Another turn 1 Legion's Landing, alright. Let's look for lands. Alright, not a land, but we did find a Llanowar Elves, which I guess is better than the other two options. But I think I'm probably still gonna run out a Branchwalker next turn. This looks like the mono white kind of ascent deck. So we can Impulse, plus if we fail, play a Llanowar Elves, or we can Impulse. Yeah, I think we just Impulse plus Elf, as opposed to Branchwalker. Take the forest. And next turn, probably just run out Steel Leaf Champion. Could also go double Branchwalker here. But I feel like just playing the champion is gonna be better. Could also Brontodon sack it right away. Nah. Banalish Marshal. That's not bad, but we do still have decent blocks with a champion at least. Ooh, Ghalta is a nice one. So costs 6 currently. So if Branchwalker hits a non-land, then we can play Ghalta this turn. Is that right? So 3, 8, 9, 3 mana, yep. So I think that's our play here. We could also Brontodon to blow up the history to prevent the +2/+1 from happening. But I think we hope to be able to play Ghalta here. Oof, that was a big one. Okay. Probably want to keep that one. And then play a Ghalta. And if they don't have an Ixalan's Binding type effect, I should be able to survive this big attack. Another history. They want to flip the landing, that's fine. So do we trade Steel Leaf for a Knight? Or do we take the damage? I think trading is fine given that they have the Banalish Marshal. And then do we trade for Sacred Cat? I don't think we do. And then at some point we can Allosaurus to kill the Banalish Marshal, which is going to be pretty big. So 5 mana total, so we can Branchwalk plus Steel Leaf. Could also Brontodon blow up the history right now before they get more value out of it. Might be okay. Let's say we play the Branchwalker, and if we hit a land, I'll Brontodon plus destroy. If we don't hit a land, I'll just Steel Leaf. I think that's a good compromise. Alright, did not hit a land, so let's put that in the graveyard for now. Don't think we can afford to attack, although it's close. Do want to start attacking at some point. What if our opponent uses Shafat Dunes next turn? Then we wouldn't have great blocks, but we are still at 13. Yeah, I'll attack. Blue mana as well. Not sure what that's for. Could be like for the Aven that gives tokens flying. Opponent gets rid of Hashep Oasis. And uses Adanto. Alright. Sacred Cat gets in there. Champion gets in there. Alright, so now we're at 4, 5, 6 mana. So we're getting close to kicking the Allosaurus. Don't think we want to blow up the history. Think we can survive an attack here. But now I don't think we can afford to attack with Ghalta. So play Brontodon, play Elf. Vizier of the Anointed, interesting. Well, that was a timely top deck with the champion just in the graveyard. Gets a Champion of Wits. Don't have any non-basics for the Field of Ruins, so they're stuck with a single blue, so they can't get back the Champion of Wits at this point. And their opponent is sending. Definitely blocking one. Do we block the second one is a question. If we block, we would have to block Brontodon plus Branchwalker, since I don't want to trade for Steel Leaf. And then our opponent gets to kill Brontodon. I guess trading a Brontodon now is fine. Alright, there's a land, perfect. So now we get to kick the Allosaurus. Kill Banalish Marshal. And start going on the beatdown plan. Opponent can draw some cards now with the Vizier, but they're at 6, so they'll have to pretty much draw Ixalan's Binding cast out type effect right now. If they do, we keep playing. If they don't, I think they're dead. So yeah, if they're getting back a champion here, probably means they don't have removal for Ghalta. And then they're hoping to top deck into maybe a Seal Away. I guess they're not technically dead yet. So what happens if we attack with everyone? Opponent can block here, or here rather. They can chump the 5/5, and then we have a 12/12 attacking, and then the Branchwalkers can get in there as well. Yeah, I think we just send everyone here. And we're not at risk of dying on the way back under most circumstances. Alright, let's see what happens. Looks like they might have a Seal Away. No? Alright. Sweet. So quest is halfway there, and we're 2-0 in the Quick Constructed, so not bad. This hand's not exciting, but probably keepable. Find a land with Impulse. Turn 2 Khenra, turn 3 Brontodon. Turn 4 Allosaurus. Yeah, I'll keep. Well, kind of forced to take the elf here, I think. Would like a Ghalta for sure, but we need the mana. So next turn, instead of playing Khenra, we can play elf, which works out a bit better. Well, guess our elf is gonna die, but that's okay. If elf survives, we can play Allosaurus next turn, which is not bad. Alright. Turn 3, 5/5. Next turn we can go Brontodon plus Khenra, and if we draw land, Tyrant. So let's see how the mono red deck handles the Allosaurus here. If they attack, they could have a Lightning Strike or a Braid to finish off the Allosaurus, which is fine. They could have an Ancrop Crasher, Exert. Yep, that's fine. Alright, this is not going to work out well for the opponent, staying back. Now we get to play Khenra on Allosaurus, make any potential block pretty bad. And being in chump block mode this early means they probably have like a Hazoret in hand that they want to try and leverage. Which is why they're playing so defensively. But now we can hopefully apply enough pressure where they won't be able to play defense with Hazoret. Buccaneer, revealing Rigging Runner. So if they don't kill Llanowar Elves and we top deck a land, we can Carnage Tyrant. If they do kill the Llanowar Elves, then they don't have Firebrand as a chump blocker. Alright, Steel Leaf Champion instead. So can definitely attack with the Allosaurus, and I think we send in Brontodon as well. And I guess the Khenra can get in there as well. And then sure, the opponent gets to kill the Firebrand, or the Llanowar Elves with the Firebrand, but that still works out for us. Could play Steel Leaf Champion first main using the Elves, so your opponent doesn't get value from the Firebrand. But I would rather give them less information to work with when making their blocks here. They could also decide to block the Resilient Khenra with the Rigging Runner and then finish it off with a Firebrand. Interesting block. Opponent should have probably blocked Firebrand on Brontodon if their plan was to kill the Khenra. Yeah, they took 3 damage for no reason here. And if they don't kill any of our elves, we'll have Carnage Tyrant next turn. And our opponent still has a pretty full hand, so Hazoret can't block yet. So don't mind our spot here. Yep. Yeah, from turn 3, pretty much we could tell they had a Hazoret in hand because they played so defensively. I guess we could just Khenra on the Steel Leaf as well. Gets in for 9 damage. It's probably better than playing Carnage Tyrant here. Can't block the Steel Leaf Champion. Opponent's down to 4. This game should be over. Ancrop Crasher. It's gonna have to play defense here. Ooh, Rhonas the Indomitable. So I think we just attack with everyone and then use Rhonas. Opponent probably has like a Magma Spray or something, but even then should be able to attack with enough. Is there a reason to attack with the Elf? Yeah, I think so. And then we still have enough mana to pump with Rhonas. Alright, looks like they didn't have the Magma Spray after all, so can let damage happen since their opponent's taking a lethal. Alright, sweet. So we're 3-0 here with our mono green deck. Quest is almost completed. So one more win to get our money back. If our opponent was able to maybe play Hazoret a turn earlier and block with her, then things could have been different. But I think in the end, the Rhonas would have been able to kill our opponent before they killed us. So we've played against 3 pretty aggressive decks so far. Let's see if now maybe we're up against a blue deck. This hand's not amazing, but I think we keep lots of creatures to turn on Rhonas. Could be too slow against an aggressive deck on the draw here. Yeah, might be the case. Alright. Yeah, we could be dead. We'll see. And drawing more 3-drops doesn't help. So pretty committed to playing a Steel Leaf champion since we have to be able to block. And then turn 4, could play Rhonas, could play a Ripjaw. Yep. Yeah, we might just be dead here. On the play, this hand probably would have still worked out. On the draw, I think we're gonna end up being a little short. They can still exert their Crasher, and we're already at 13. And if at some point they have a Hazoret, we're dead. So, are they exerting? Or... Yep, looks like they are. Alright, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, go to 4. Maybe even on the play we would have lost this one since our opponent did have a pretty good hand. Alright, if our opponent has anything, we're dead. Hijack on the Raptor. Alright, get to be on the play, turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Champion. So we kind of have our dream start here. If we top deck a Ghalta, we can play Ghalta next turn by playing Khenra into Ghalta. Probably just want to play a Serpopard here into a potential counterspell. Opponent's disappointed that they can't use their Essence Scatter. Opponent's got a Plains. Let us, let's see, 9, 10. I think we just go Khenra, targeting Serpopard, and then play Rhonas while we still have the Serpopard in play. I would target the Llanowar Elves to diversify our threats a little bit. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Serpopard does indeed work on other creatures as well, so let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, so we can't quite kill them here. So now we just need to play around, settle the wreckage, and then take it home. I guess we impulse first to see what we draw. So I guess I'll take another Steel Leaf. Play the Steel Leaf. And then I guess I'll just attack with 2 big threats. Force them to use a settle and then keep the Khenra with Eternalize. Or we could just Send in 3 creatures, including elves, so that a cast out on Serpopard isn't enough. Certainly a few ways to play this. I mean, we're pretty sure they have a settle, but we want to make sure to kill them through a cast out as well. So if they settle here, we still have 3 creatures left. I actually prefer attacking like this, so we have more creatures to pump with Rhonas. Yep. Opponent says go. Play a Ghalta. If they counter it, then don't need to play around Cellar Wreckage. And then we can 5-6 pump twice with Llanowar Elves. But if we only attack with the Khenra, then we give our opponent an extra turn, since they could just have a seal away or cast out. So I think we attack with Steel Leaf plus Llanowar Elves. And then they'll need another Cellar Wreckage essentially. Yep, so that's not going to be enough. Maybe could have just attacked with the Khenra instead of the Steel Leaf, since most of the opponent's removal is exile based anyway, so it's not like we're going to eternalize the Khenra anytime soon. But we got there. Alright, got our money back, so that's good. And we completed our quest. So now it's all gravy. And how is this hand? We're on the play. Get to Impulse. It's not amazing, but I think keepable. Finding a land is okay. Finding a Llanowar Elves would be okay. Yeah, take a forest. Could have considered taking the tapped desert, since we have Hashep Oasis, so we might be in a spot at some point where we want to sacrifice the other desert first. But if we draw a 2-drop here, then we want to make sure to have the untapped lands. Up against Mono-Red. Could be in a bit of trouble here, since we drew the second Carnage Tyrant, which we're pretty far from casting. Don't have land number 4 yet. Brute Strength, wow. Opponent going deep. Alright, a land here is good. So now we get to play Serpopard. They Lightning Strike it, we take 2. Next turn play Ripjaw Raptor into Rhonas. Soulscar is annoying, since it can shrink down our big creatures here. So we might be in a spot where Rhonas won't be able to block. Key to Lava Runner as well, nice. Let's see if they have another removal spell for the Ripjaw. And Crop Crasher would be annoying. Alright, opponent with the Crasher as well, so gonna take 6 damage, down to 4. And now we're kind of in this awkward spot where we have to play defense, but then we're giving the opponent time to untap their Crasher again. So we'll need to draw a land next turn really badly, so we can play our Carnage Tyrant. And even any burn spell on Ripjaw Raptor makes it so we can't block with Rhonas. Ooh, I forgot to play Khenra there. Whoops. That was a pretty bad mistake, since now we could just be dead, while if we had the Khenra, maybe we wouldn't be. Yep, but no attacks. Alright. Didn't get punished. Maybe your opponent missed the interaction with Soulscar Mage and Rhonas. And next turn another Carnage Tyrant is gonna do a good job of stabilizing. We just need to make sure we don't get burnt out. A Wizard Sliding on Ripjaw Raptor. Yep. Don't get to draw a card because it's -1/-1 counters instead of damage. Well, that might just kill us now. Exert on Rhonas. Yep, we're dead. If we had a Khenra in play... So what if we had a Khenra in play, then we would have still died. Yeah, then we would still take 4. So it didn't matter that we didn't play the Khenra. Opponent with pretty much the nut draw. It's gonna be hard to beat. Yeah, this hand's keepable. Probably just want to play the tap Desert turn 1. And then go 2 into 3. Opponent's mulliganing a bunch. Alright, opponent off to a slow start. Ooh, opponent with a Junt deck. Might explain their mulligan since they're playing 3 colors Nest of Scarabs. Doesn't match up well versus Steel Leaf Champion. And we did just draw only lands, so let's hope to impulse into some action. Can take the Khenra, play it this turn, attack for a bunch more, or we can take the Ripjaw to play next turn. I kind of like the more aggressive Khenra play here. And then we can still impulse a second time. And then take Brontodon to answer the Scarab's enchantment. So we're threatening a 9 damage next turn, so they do need to affect the board in some way. They can't, and they scoop it up. On the play, I think this is keepable. Only 3 drops is a little awkward, but it's probably still good enough. Like, the difference between a hand with or without Llanowar Elves is just so big. We only had a turn 1 elf in 1 or 2 games so far, and there's elf a turn late. I'll still take it. Red, black. Alright, that's fine. So I think we just jammed champion. Hope they don't have another cut to ribbons. Opponent says go. We'll attack, see what happens. Cycle Sweltering Suns, alright. And I think, given that they just cycled Sweltering Suns, we are fine playing Rhonas, as they didn't have a 3 mana answer to Steel Leaf. I guess they could have a Vraska's Contempt next turn for the champion. So we might be better off playing the Ranger. If we play Rhonas and we can double explore with +1/+1 counters next turn, we could still attack with Rhonas anyways. But then we're kind of gambling on not finding a land first. So I'll play it conservatively here, play the Ranger. Land into Steel Leaf, which we'll keep on top. Say go. Still a 2-turn clock. And yep, they did have the Vraska's Contempt, so glad we played it this way. So yeah, let's attack, play another champion. Next turn we get to double spell, or Rhonas plus pump. Another Vraska's Contempt. Yep. Alright, opponent doesn't have double red yet, so Hour of Devastation is not a concern, so let's just double spell. So our opponent was able to answer both champions pretty successfully with contempts. Let's see if they manage to answer what we have. Oof, Hour of Devastation would be painful now. Just an Abrade. Into Mastermind's Acquisition. Can we kill our opponent here? We can. Just double pump. Alright, sweet. Alright, so we're 6-2. Let's see if we can finish with 7 wins. How about this hand? On the play, no third land. Bunch of 3s, 4s and Ghalta. On the draw I would keep. On the play, I think I'm mulliganing. So we could keep Hashep Oasis on top, but then we're probably not casting Adventurous Impulse, or we can bottom it and then Impulse anyways. But the Impulse is probably gonna look for a land anyways. The downside of keeping Oasis is that it's gonna hurt us with the Steel Leaf champion. So I think what we do is compromise, bottom these Hashep Oasis and then Impulse turn 1. And look for just a normal forest or some action. Take the Branchwalker. And then next turn we can go land Branchwalker, look for land. Or we can play it safe, take the desert, play tap next turn, and then have some turn 3 plays. I think we need to get a little lucky. So I'm gonna take the Branchwalker to hopefully undo some of our mulliganing. Yeah, I'll keep it. We've got 2 3-drops to play anyway, so we have a few extra draws to find the land for Raptor. So against the blue-white deck, I like playing the Steel Leaf here, so that next turn if our opponent keeps up a counterspell, we get to play Serpopard into it. Also just adds more pressure. So yeah, let's attack. They might have a Seal Away for the champion, and then we'll play a Ranger instead of Serpopard. If they keep up a counterspell, we get to Serpopard. And then they just might use the Compass instead. Alright, let's play a Ranger. And then we'll figure out how to play around Solar Wreckage. Land is good. They didn't have a Seal Away earlier, so that's not really a concern. So the question really is, do we play around Cast Out or not? I guess we could just attack with the Steel Leaf champion and not attack with the Branchwalker. Since we are pretty threat light, alright. Now that they're at 4, it's going to be a little easier to play around Solar Wreckage. So they are a ramp deck. Opponent will have to discard 2 hand sides if they don't play anything. So we definitely want to present lethal damage here. I think we attack Ranger, Llanowar Elves plus Branchwalker. I guess that doesn't beat a cast out, but they didn't have it last turn, so... Yep. Another Compass. Keeping up Silver Wreckage once again. So if we just attack with the 1 creature, then they need any spot removal or Silver Wreckage to stay alive. Then next turn they get to flip these compasses. And then these can blank 2 of our creatures, but then the 3rd one might still be able to get through. So that's an argument for just attacking with 1 creature. If we attack with 2 creatures, then if they don't have the saddle, they lose. If they do have the saddle, then next turn we'll only have 2 creatures, and then they both get blanked by the compasses. So I think we just attack with the 1. Alright, they did have the saddle, so we give ourselves the best chance to win in case they did. I guess what we could have considered doing last turn is not attack with the Llanowar Elves, since we had the Rhonas incoming, which would have been able to turn the Elves into an actual threat. So maybe I shouldn't have attacked with the Llanowar Elves last turn. Alright, so if they have a land, they get to flip the 2 compasses, but then we still have 3 attackers, and if they play an approach, they're dead. So this is probably like a banned ramp approach deck. Picked up a Llanowar Elves, so they didn't flip their compass. Given that they used Silver Wreckage last turn, probably means they don't have another spot removal spell, unless they drew one this turn. So I think we just attack with 1 creature once again, and then even if they flip compasses next turn, we'll have 3 threats that we can also pump with Rhonas. So let's attack with Ripjaw Raptor. Alright, they did pick up a Seal Away, so I'm guessing this is the card they top deck this turn. So this is kind of the issue with not attacking with 2 creatures here, that they do get to activate Compass, and then next turn have those 2 Spires of Araska. But we're still in a spot where our opponent needs to keep up mana, since if they tap out for approach, they're dead. Edifice of Authority. That makes it so they have 3 of those effects. And now they can keep all 3 creatures in check. Let's cycle this. Alright, that's a card. Let's play Ghalta. So I think we made a few mistakes this game. I shouldn't have attacked with the Llanowar Elves when we were playing into Silver Wreckage the first time. And I think the turn our opponents top decked the Seal Away. We should have attacked with 2 creatures, since the odds of them having a 3rd Silver Wreckage were pretty slim, since they already went through 2 of them. So I think I would have done those differently in hindsight. Now our opponent does have an instant. Let's see. This just taps for colorless mana, so they can't actually cast 6 mana draw 2 here. Alright, let's Impulse. If they don't have a 3rd Saddle Wreckage, then they're dead here. Since a 4 mana cast out doesn't work since I need to tap 1 mana for this. So I think we just commit. It's kind of now or never. Since if we let them untap and let them cast Mind, then it just increases the chances that they do draw into a Cell Wreckage. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for it. It's now or never. And if they're using the Edifice, that also implies that they don't have the settle, otherwise they would let us attack. I guess that doesn't mean that necessarily, but... Alright, let's go for it. No guts, no glory. 1 time, don't have a 3rd settle. Seal Away would also do it, I guess. Alright, they had the 3rd settle. At least our Ghalta still around, but now with the double Spires of Vraska and Edifice, we'll need to draw into quite a few more creatures. Hour of Promise, yep. They probably had the settle in hand for a while, so maybe attacking with 2 creatures the turn they used Seal Away would not have worked out anyways. Hard to say. Don't think we're getting out of this one. And now they are gonna make a bunch of zombies. Game's gonna drag on for a while. Eventually they'll cast Approach and we'll lose. I guess this one works. Can't target it with the Spires or the Edifice. And they're probably out of Cell Wreckages. Alright, picked up a Seal Away. Opponent's got 4 zombies. If we use Hashep Oasis, we can make this 10 power. So we would be attacking for 2 extra damage, so their opponent would be dead. They'll pretty much need the 4th copy of Cell Wreckage, but not much we can do about that one. So let's go for it. One time, please. We did it! Carnage Tyrant, the real MVP. Alright, we got our 7 wins. And what did we get? 2 mythics. And a memorial. Mythic number 1, Histra Benalia, sweet. I actually needed that one. And a Rowdy Crew. It's not terrible if we ever end up making the mono-red kind of Godfarer's Gift deck. This could go in that one. Alright, sweet. So that was Monogreen. I also want to thank all my patrons for supporting the channel, and you can do so yourself as well over at patreon.com/LegenVD, where you get cool rewards for supporting the channel, as well as getting us closer to our goals, where with every goal reached we will release an additional weekly series. So if you want to see more content, Patreon is the place to go.